Njala.
How did Mr. Chagulanyi stand? Because of Gambia, but deputies, balondebwa bulondebwa ne bakakasibwa ne.
Yes, absolutely.
So mwami Chagulanyi nga president w'ekibiina. Mwami Rubongoya n'asaba wansi w'ekibiina. Ani yabavuganya?
Tibavuganyizibwa because ebyokuvuganya byakujayo mpapula.
Does it surprise you that the key positions were never contested?
It does not surprise
the president, the secretary general.
It does not surprise me because we have put.
I mean, Azeyo.
Chagulanyi najayo mpapula mu kamera. Tiyazijayo mu mpuku tiyazijayo mu kamera. Secretary general najayo mpapula mu kamera. Mukama wange Joel Sanyuka najayo mpapula mu kamera.
So for us, we fulfilled our mandate.
You've heard from the likes of Honorable Norbert Mao, where he was poking holes in the processes of the party. How do you take in this kind of?
Do you want to take Norbert Mao seriously?
Mao afunye stray bullets.
What happened at the Delegates Conference and what they were doing? You want me to really take him seriously? The man who took his party and dragged it. Actually, not his party, but the party of people who sacrificed a lot and gave it over to NRM.
Isn't it funny? And I'm so glad he makes this argument.
You're watching Mordecai Marissa Live Political Commentary. Please consider subscribing to help grow Uganda's Voices of Struggle ecosystem. Thank you.
Very glad to be here on Mordecai Marissa TV.
And yes, indeed, ogamba otyo okansubira oli bulungi nze Mordecai Marissa nkuweereza nsinziira mu ggwanga lino li United States of America era nga nkwaniriza ku mukutu gu Mordecai Marissa Live. Yes, absolutely. Nkwebaza yonna gy'osinzira okubeera ng'ogoberera endowooza zange zengabana naawe ku mikutu gyange gy'omunaayiza wala social media platforms. Nyongera okutegeeza ntera nnyo okulaba abantu tumanyi okujja ne bavuma ne bayomba tetugenda kukaanya ku buli kimu. What I'm trying to do here is create an environment where we can have a discussion. So oyinza obutakkaanya nange ekyo nkisuubira. Okay? Eggulu saabasabye kati njagala kusaba gwe yakanneegattako oyinza okuba oli mujja. Mission yaffe ey'omwezi guno kulaba nga tuweza abantu 1,500. Tuli bantu 2,207. Oyinza okuba gwagenda okunyamba okubeera nga mpeza abantu 1,500. Kola kino. Subscribing. That's the gift you can give me. Ndaba nnyo abantu abawana Mordecai bukyangu okola video eno njagadde nnyo. N'omugamba mukwano oli subscribe. Naga kale mwana bulijjo mbiraba si subscribing nga nesimanyi oba lwaki. Ekyo bakiyita laziness and opportunism. Okozesa user. So please make sure that you do subscribe. I would really appreciate and invite other people. And the other thing that I usually ask you is to make sure that you write down your comment. Please spice up the comment section so that this video is recommended to other people. But we will take a comment. Then video no bajuru recommending eri abantu abalala. More especially bw'ogisanga mulamwa. Nga bw'entyo bagamba otabisanga mulamwa suula ebbali tebiina mulamwa oba ontegeera. But if you find it very, holding substance, make sure that you write in the comment section, like the video, and share it with other people. All right, I'm going to video. Now, ladies and gentlemen, top brass of the National Unity Platform, okuli David Louis Rubongoya, ye Secretary General, nga kw'otadde Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro, ye Deputy Spokesperson. Bakyaziddwa ku wansi wa mukutu gwa mawulire gwe nali nkola Next Media Services. David Louis Rubongoya ku NBS Television nga show ekubirizibwa Simon Kaggwa Njala. Ate Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro yabadde n'omusajja gwe bayita Kungu Mahad. Ndoza ye Mahad, yes, Mahad. Babadde ku Sanyuka. Ekibuuzo kyabadde ku Delegates Conference yawedde Bobi Wine bamulonze batya. Waliwo engamba ezigamba nti ekifo kya Bobi baki ring fencing bagamba twabeera omuntu yenna akyesimbako. Bayanukudde ku ekyo ekibuuzo. Ba-delegates be baani baaganye okwesimbawo ku bantu nga David Louis Rubongoya oba Joel Sanyuka n'ebiregwa mukoyo. Betugenda okubeera nga tunuulira. Babadde ku mikutu gya njawulo olunaku lwe lumu kati tugenda kutunuulira emboozi eno. Listen. Are you ready tugende? All right. Katugende maaso ate nkulage emboozi oba tutandike ne Rubongoya. Tandike nani? Tugatandika, well, Doza tandikene Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro. I think I need to fix this. A little bit messed up. My screen. Okay. Doza katwane eno evude bulungi. Look, eno emboze yabaddeo. On the other hand, nyina tugenda kudeno nga bwe tuddeeri. Katandikene Mufumbiro wano wambuuza ekibuuzo. Ulira.
Come watch. You had 120 delegates?
We had 100 delegates.
100?
Yeah, because there were 100 voters. Yes, sir. It is within our right.
And you know, that's a loaded statement. Omuntu agamba mwasubira abamuli ebweru. Kyangu nnyo okukifuna mu ngeri a little bit kile kisawunga ekiri cynical. Naye tekikolebwangako oba tekina kolebwa. Absolutely. Annyonnyola kino ngenda kwogerezaako.
Mu meeting ez'ekikugu zengenzemu wano mu Africa ne Bulaya. Ezo ze bayita closed door meetings. Yes, that was our business, and our business was made alive. Ekyokubiiri ndako.
This ideally should be a democratic process.
This was
a democratic.
Come on, Kungu. Wogamba nti buno ekuba kwabadde kulonda. This should be a democratic process. The democratic process doesn't stop. Kubanga abantu beggalidde basooka bakubaganya ebirowoozo ku nsonga ezimu nga tebalina bakweyabya mu baamawulire. Kino kikolebwa buli wamu. Waliwo ndowooza mwaka gwali gwa 2022 nali was it 2021 nali Washington DC. Ababaka aba Republican Party nga kwotadde aba Democratic Party beggalira mu kisenga tebataddeyo munnamawulire ne basooka bakubaganya ebirowoozo ku lwayitalo ogenda maaso Ukraine ne bafuluma then ne bavaayo ne boogera. Wano bateekeddwa okubeera newankubadde buli kimu kiteekeddwa okubeera mu lwatu ne bateekeddwa okubeerawo akaseera nga temugenda kweyabiza mu lujjudde ku buli kimu. Tewali musanga awo gwendaba. Oyinza okuba tokkanya nange, but that's what I think.
Era tewabadde kukusa process zino bezaali zitandika. Process eno yali etandika.
Mufuna abakulembeze mu nzikiza.
Process bwe yali etandika yali ya lwatu. Okujjako mu abatagoberere.
No, I'm talking about what happened on that day. You locked out journalists.
Bwe kyotamanyi, tumanyi.
You locked out journalists.
Olunaku lw'oyogerako ku lwokubiri twali mu kooti. In fact, si ku lwokubiri, ku lwokusatu. Gwokimanyi nti okutuuza Delegates Conference ya National Unity Platform kwaliko taasibewo taasulewo. Kubanga waliwo abantu abeewadde obuvunaanyizibwa okukijja.
You know, it is so funny, and I'm so glad that he makes this point. It is very funny. Nti tuli beeteefuteefu okuholdinga National Unity Platform ku standards ezimu eziringa ngeza NRM. Ebibuuzo, I can guarantee you, ku NBS ne ku Sanyuka babuuzizza ebibuuzo byonna. Naye tewali kyabuuziddwa ekibuuzo eky'engeri ng'eno nti mwasobodde mutya okuteeka enteekateeka ku bino ebize bibatuukako. It's like environment yaffe ebadde desensitized. Cruelty ya Museveni ebadde normalized. Nti ne bw'oleeta Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro oba David Lewis Rubongoya abakulu mu kibiina tusobola kubabuuza nti ku bize bibatuukako bye tulabye okuwamba okubadde ku kibiina okuwamba abawagizi bammwe mwasobodde, how were you able to pull off this? That's not one of the questions. It is, okay, mwegalidde. Like, you see that the Museveni's impunity, lawlessness and impunity have been normalized. Nti ekibuuzo ekikwatagana ku butya bwe mwasobodde okukola ekintu bwe kiti tekyabuuzibwa kati banenya victim oba state oppression.
Yanya n'okugiremesa twandyagadde tubeere Namboole, twandyagadde tubeere wantu nga wagazi mu bwerufu obw'enjawulo, naye obuzibu bwe tulina tetu operating under the normal circumstances.
Because if you really follow me, and I'm so glad that he mentions, if you really follow me, nakugamba edde ku lunaku nenga ekibuuzo bwe tugenda ku YouTube so kikulaga wano ngambuuza eno gundi Delegates Conference egenda kubeerayo. That was my worry. Nga bamaze okulaga ebibaddewo a day before baali balumbye ekitebe nabo kuba amasasi bakubye abantu ebibadde nga ngamba China. So this was at the eve eya gundi Delegates Conference. Kati tewali abuuza nti how were you able, under what circumstances, how were you able? Tell us, walk us through mwakola mutya okutuuza Delegates Conference eno kubanga twamanyi kyaki batuuseeko a day before. How were you able to do that? That's not asked.
So just question that's my concern. You are having journalists. You're having journalists. You're going to elect. You're going to vote. You're going to change the leadership of the party. And you look out the media.
Screening abantu bonna because nkugambye nga tugenda mu delegates conference waliwo injunction je waliwo mpitidde nako discussing era wangamba kakati
just question you
no, but again olaba nti Kungu is deliberately avoiding okwogera ku ekyaliwo even before sikwega ati kyaliyogerako ainengeri judge framing okulaga nti buli kimu kyali kyachama and Waiswa's argument egamba we sat mu meeting closed door meeting okuba to discussing and then tuyogetogere bannamawulire
abantu boyina waliwo abagala okulemesa mu mutima omubi munge mu fitina nga tofunye na budde because okimanyi bulungi nnyo mbamu nagenda mu delegates conference bannamawulire baba screening nga tokimanyi baba vetting we didn't have all that time nakugamba ffe tukolanga baliyekera kubanga tuli mu kulwanisa statecraft ebya NUP kulwanagana ne NRM kulwanagana n'abamagye kulwanagana na processes so eno process yalina okugenda mu maaso naye wakati mu kugenda mu maaso ekyokubiri they were not closed. There were journalists there. There are videos that are out. Yes, there are journalists. In fact, we were giving journalists prompt.
What does he mean when he says yes? Because if Waiswa says, this wasn't closed, there were journalists there, there are videos there, nagamba yes, then abeeranga kiriziganya ne Waiswa mufume kyayogera ekita argument ye.
Kibaita prompt. Prompt debrief. Personal.
Yeah,
we were debriefing journalists on the processes. Kakati gwe kyoyina kikino. Wali oyagala oyingize kamera. Ne kamera nazo mukutandika bwogenda wano mukuyingira every day.
So what was the justification? Tekiwulira ekyo.
Nkugambye
ki ekyabaga ng'ekibiina.
We did not have time to screen other people to take part of the delegates conference because delegates conference ngenati nkugambye gwe kumacha gwo mwenyini waito manyi tijeri. Kubanga wali omanyi nti kooti egenda gisazaamu bigambo bibye ndiko kakati ng'okolera mu environment eyo toyinza tekeera ku macha n'ogamba nti kakati
I am sorry, I'm going to keep on drumming this, beating this drum. Why is the question of the circumstances under which this delegates conference was called not discussed? Why?
They can stop you in any way with any infiltration. So my brother, the delegates conference yatambudde bulungi obukulembeze buli undoubted era katuli kufuata nyayo. Njala.
How did Mr. Chagulanyi stand? Because of Gambia, my deputies balondebwa bulondebwa ne bakakasibwa ne.
Yes, absolutely.
So mwami Chagulanyi nga president w'ekibiina mwami Rubongoya nasaba wansi w'ekibiina ani yabavuganya?
Tibavuganyizibwa because ebyokuvuganya byakujayo mpapula.
Thank you. I'm so glad that it's very easy to make because banelo alinganga abantu abagamba, and I've seen there's folks I see on social media, especially on Facebook, abagamba Bobi Wine dictator, and I think one of other people I saw was Stella Nyanzi, and Stella Nyanzi yomu kubaba debalumba Bobi Wine engage yalonde bwamu. I don't have any problem with Stella Nyanzi. Antiminze kona yokola poem tukola ekitontome. I immensely support her cause. Manyi avuganya mwami Museveni. It's okay. But I think somewhere ayinza okupatia Sanyuka ne result ezava mu kalulu kwa woman MP Kampala. And as a result of that, bagamba hell has no fury like a scorned woman. She feels like she was betrayed by the constituents after having offered herself with immense sacrifices, as you may think. And as a result of that, she carries this anger with her towards a political party that produced a candidate that defeated her. This is my analysis. I could be wrong. Ne yomu kuwabade wabuze bibuzo nti Bobi Wine lwaki tebamuvuganya. I mean, Bobi Wine agenda kwata omuntu ku street amugambe jangu mvuganya. Because if the process was as transparent and otekeddwa okuba mujaye empapula ez'okuvuganya, then how does it become Bobi Wine's crime okuba nti yafuna muntu amuvuganya? You tell me.
Are these two positions ring-fenced?
Again, are these positions ring-fenced? This is the argument I was trying to make. I'm saying the positions were there for folks to go and contest. How do they become ring-fenced? Tewali gubali baganya.
Uliriza bye kugamba. We gazetted. Nitugamba kakati abagala okwesima kuba president mugende mujaye empapula. Chagulanyi najaye empapula mu kamera. Tiazijjayo ntiazijjeyo mu mpuku tiazijjayo mu kamera. Secretary General najaye empapula mu kamera. mukama wange Joel Sanyuka najja empapula mu kamera era bwe bamala okujja abantu bonna bamala okujja empapula njagadde kumenya aboyinza okwagalako abasatu Joel yafuna amuvuganya nga Alanso Wanyana yajjayo ki empapula Secretary General teyafuna akola ki kati okujja ku mwali oyagala tugende tunoonye tugambe nti ani amuvuganya kubanga naye sino ali member wa NUP mwandibadde wajjayo empapula omuvuganya.
You know, it is so funny because there's nowhere nobody even said bantu babavuganya. Nolinganga gamba, you know, some people are really good at what they do, especially nga bayina abantu bebakola nabo mu kibino basobola. Like, this is one thing I really hate about competition. It's like mundoza yo muntu yatekeddwa alowooza nti buli kasa ntekeddwa okubeera nga nvuganya, even in situations where ziteekeddwa okubeera nga nvuganya. Abantu bayinza okuba bakkanya nti maybe Bobi Wine oba Lewis oba Ssenyonyi bakoze omulimu omulungi kati oyagala bafuna abantu bagenda nvuganya ngeteeka. And I understand. Look, I'll give you a funny story about myself. When I was in high school, I write it in my book, The Odyssey of the Optimist. Nanonyo omuntu anvuganya nga tewali muntu anvuganya nali mu high school, senior 5, nga nvuganya kwa guild president awo Lubaga South kusomero gye nasomera. Nga saina muntu anvuganya because I had been to this school okuva senior 1 paka senior 6 and there was prospecting abantu balowooza nti nyinza okufuuka guild president. Bwe bali babayita amalala agali ku ssomero lyaffe guild president instead of head prefect oba head boy. So babayitanga ba guild presidents ng'aba university. Ne ntuuka akaseera nga sina muntu anvuganya neesimbawo. And look, olw'okuba nali saagala genda byaffe ng'omuntu atalina gwavuga. Tebali gwe baagaana kuvuganya, tewali yadde n'omu. Wadde n'ogwo gwe baagamba mulisa temumwesimbako. But no one yagenda najjayo application anvuganye. And then I had to convince somebody gwe bayita Sebunza Arafat. Hey, I tell this story in my book, The Odyssey of the Optimist. Osokifuna ku Amazon. Teekamu Mordecai Muliso ojja kiraba. Nafuna mukwano gwange Sebunza Arafat ne mugamba nesimbaako. Nesimbako, he almost actually kata nkuba akalulu. Naye ebino byali bya high school. Ebyobufuzi ebiri ku mutendera ogunene oguli national subira nti bagenda kujjayo playbook ya Mordecai Mulisa bagambe mbadde nsaba onvuganya. Nzi nali saagala kubeera nga sina nvuganyiza kuba nali njagala campaigns zibeere very exciting kye nali nfaako nga njaga ngende mu classes nga nfuna nga nnyimira nenkola arguments zange omulala nanyimira nanvuganya kye nali njagala. And I convinced Sebunza Arafat, one of the comical very funny guy mu ssomero, najja nanvuganya. I write, please make sure bobo abambuza Mulisa tukwagidde tutya Amazon Mordecai Mulisa ate abali mu America nakugamba nti bwoba oyagala ekitabo kino eno nso kikuweereza nga nkisayininze kyasembebwa Joel Sanyuka. This is my book. So kisayininga autograph. I can autograph it nenkikuweereza ku address yonna gy'oliko. So what do you do? Ompeereza message ku namba +M namba ya America ya WhatsApp +M 712 303 708 31 njiddamu +1 712 303 708 31 nga nkuweereza ekitabo ekiri signed. Ne bw'oba ng'oli Bulaaya nga wandikyagadde kasita oteekamu sente z'okutambuza ekitabo kino katuve kala ng'otuddeyo ku mboozi nkayisizaawo.
Ontegedde bulungi. Anti kubuulira president tewali yamuvuganya. Kati oyinza kuvunaana muntu nti tolina aba yakoze eki. Tewaaliwo olunaku na lumu lwawulira nga tugamba nti ekya president kiriringi first nkugambye mu ssemateeka omupya okulaga nti ffe tuli mwate temumanyi kyagula kyamwegulanyiza Democrats.
Okay. Maybe tunakomawo naye katugende wano eno. Yabadde David Lewis Rubongoya nga bamukyaziza ku NBS eri ebadde Sanyuka awawadde Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro. Now this is NBS Simon Kaggwa Njala ngali ne David Lewis Rubongoya. Let's go.
Are normally about politics, and we are talking politics again. This time bringing spotlight onto the internal processes of the National Unity Platform. Of course, after the big headline of a delegates conference that was discreetly held, that saw the return.
Again, you see the framing? The delegates conference that was discreetly held.
Of the principal, President Honorable Robert Chagulanyi, Secretary General David Lewis Rubongoya, and spokesperson Joel Sanyuka, plus several others. What does it speak to on the issue of internal democracy within parties? Of course, we'll also be looking at whether indeed the party has a roadmap ahead of the much hyped 2026. Watson joins us. A very good morning.
Very good morning to you, Simon, and a very good morning to the viewers.
I saw you congratulating yourself upon being elected for a second term. What does it really mean?
Actually, I did not say that I was elected. Well, I was elected and opposed. Nobody came out to express interest in the position I hold. And I did not congratulate myself because I do not view this position as one where I should be congratulating myself. Because it is a sacrifice, it is a lot of service. So I don't look at it in terms of being congratulated or congratulating myself, because I know that it is a responsibility. It is a very, very big duty. It's dangerous, it's risky, but it's worth doing. And that's what we do. So,
what explains the discreet nature of your delegates conference?
Again, what explains the discreet nature of your delegates conference? Ebintu mwabikola muchama, mwali mugenderera chi. Okay? Let's go.
Very discreet, and it was not discreet. That's why, first of all, everyone had their phones. You saw many people recording what was going on there. We looked at it as one of the meetings of the party. The National Unity Platform has different organs. It has an executive board, it has a NEC, it has a delegates conference. And many times when we have our NEC meetings, we don't invite the media to come and cover whatever is going on there. But what we normally do is to brief the media about what has transpired in these meetings. And that is what happened here. In fact, some media houses were inside before we started the deliberations. They interviewed some of the delegates who were there. And after that, when we started business, they moved out, waited out there. But in any case, it is us who invited the media for a briefing. Who said the media should come. Yes, should come at this point for a briefing. Because, like I said, the deliberations were internal.
This should be very easy to understand.
While you people are focused on the election of new leaders, that delegates conference handled other critical resolutions of the party, which we thought were, for the internal consumption of these delegates. And like I said, this is one of the organs of the party, and we have meetings all the time of the different organs. And when we feel like on this matter we should have the media, we invite them. But many times when we feel that...
Do you really feel intrigued by the way the public interprets it as something that was quite sinister?
I don't know who the public is, because the public that I speak to are very happy with us.
Again, exactly.
It is a few distractors, of course, who would never say anything good about our party, who are at it again. I mean, they're always looking, they're always fault finding, they're always trying to look for a fault, even where it is not. So those ones are always there, and we listen to them, but they do not distract us from what we're doing, because the majority of the members of our party are happy. First of all, we advertised the positions, for example, in the papers. We said people should come out and apply. I have been seeing some people say, why wasn't President Kyagulanyi competed against? Who stopped you, for example?
There was a footnote. The position of the president will be...
No, that you go back and read. Go and read it. Say that the presidential flag bearer of the party. Because in our constitution, the party president of the party was one of the positions that was clearly listed. But the footnote was the presidential flag bearer.
I don't know whether you get it. There's a difference between presidential flag bearer and party president. The footnote was put on the presidential flag bearer, not the party president position.
Will be announced in due course. So people needed to understand. And I think you're confusing two announcements. There was the first one which called for expression of interest for NEC members. And the president was the first position, Secretary General and other positions. Then there was another advert which ran, which called for expression of interest for members of parliament and others. And that is the one where there was a footnote saying, for the presidential flag bearer, the advert will be out later on. And it is because...
Now, many people were, because they're so quick, they're so willing to find cracks in any argument of the NUP, they just ran away with that without even paying attention that, this is addressing presidential flag bearer that will be announced in the nearby future. They were, all they interpreted is, this is ring fencing of Bobi Wine's position as the party president. Come on.
Constitution, they follow different processes. The process for
which constitution is this?
Again, now the question of the constitution, and probably we have to go back to Waiswa Mufumbiro Kyagamba. Argument the 2004 constitution which we follow. Baga mugobeera constitution chi eya 2
We have NUP
It's
has
not
one
been
constitution.
cleared by the
No.
Commission, has it?
Again, that
I'm so glad that he's going to dismantle here. Listen to how he dismantle. Kubango na gamanteno. Constitution jemutambulirako. Again, n'abamu ku babaka b'ekibiina omukyalo we Masaka Mwitandika Juliet Kakande n'abala. Kibiina tekiina ssemateeka ne bampuuga babyogerako. Imagine that. Ekibiina kiina ssemateeka. Obeera otya mu parliament ng'oli mu kibiina ekitalina ssemateeka. This is your opportunity. Olabe argument no bagita batya.
That's misinformation, and I hope that I can have this opportunity to explain to the public that NUP has a constitution. A party cannot exist on the law books without a constitution.
Exactly.
The National Unity Platform has a constitution. It has one constitution. The Electoral Commission is a custodian of documents of political parties, and the Electoral Commission has only one constitution which we follow. That is a constitution which we inherited from Zé Chibalama and other people who were running the political party at the time.
There is an amended constitution that was meant to be gazetted and
yes.
cleared by the EC.
So
was
once,
it cleared?
No, that is why we are still following the 2004, not the 2023 constitution. Because when we came in, first of all, you need to understand that.
Now, I'm sorry to pause. Let me tell you this. There's a constitution that the National Unity Platform follows. It is a 2004 constitution. The one they inherited from the Chibalama. Within that constitution, they look at that constitution and trying to make adjustments or amendments. And this is the constitution they handed over to the Electoral Commission. This has to be cleared and gazetted by the Electoral Commission. But the Electoral Commission is delaying this process. As a result of the delay of the Electoral Commission, the National Unity Platform now uses the 2004 Constitution. This doesn't mean that the party doesn't have a constitution. It has a constitution, but it's looking forward at adopting a new constitution. They amended. Buli muntu agamba bannaye tukyogere mu lulimi ki waliwo ssemateeka w'ekibiina kino owa 2004 NUP kwetambulira ne waliwo ssemateeka omulala gwe baakolamu ennongoosereza ne bakwasa ekibiina ekivunaanyizibwa ku byokulonda mu Uganda kiteekeddwa okwekkaanya then kibawe olukusa okubeera nga bakwata constitution eno alongooseddwa akoleddwamu ennongoosereza okubeera nga ssemateeka waabwe omujja tekinnaba kukolebwa ekyo bwe kiba tekinnaba kukolebwa batambulira ku ssemateeka waabwe omukadde omuntu agamba tekina. It's so funny and shallow nti omuntu kasaba mugamba nti twakoze ennongoosereza mu ssemateeka kati eri abeera deemed oli ssemateeka omukadde abeera deemed nti ali invalid. No, that old constitution becomes invalid, is deemed invalid once the new one is adopted. Before that happens, we still or we have to follow the old constitution. Come on. This is kindergarten conversation that should be understood by everyone.
There are many political parties which many people have been calling briefcase parties. And the reason why they do that is because their membership is small, their Delegates Conference is small, etc., etc. So the National Unity Platform, the Delegates Conference of NUP in 2004.
Let's go here.
What happened? Some people, the usual detractors, went to court that if there's no objection, you confirm. And we kept asking them, no.
The Kagombes, there is a team with the Kagombes and others who are
those guys who went to court
challenging the way the party is being run.
So
did you cater for this?
I've told you that those are, I'm looking for the best words, but maybe let me quote the judge in the last, you remember when they filed the case? And you remember what the judge said? Said they were looking for quick cash. He described them in those terms, that they were, because the election season had come, they were simply looking for quick cash. They have no basis whatsoever. And if at a risk of sub judice, because these matters are before court, I'll tell you that this constitution that we have is the one they were using, the one they were following.
They're looking for quick cash. Absolutely. They were following that constitution.
If you look at, so that's why I'm saying that this is a group of fraudsters who are just always looking for an opportunity to get quick cash, and nobody should pay attention to them.
Yeah.
In fact, it is people who give them a lot of
Is this case anything that is really keeping the part on tenterhooks?
Absolutely not. From a legal perspective, from any perspective, there is no basis whatsoever in that case. Like
you know, all this kind of all this kind of relevance of this group is given, is given attention to by the media. Minus the media, it doesn't really mean nothing.
said, and we hope that it can be expeditiously handled. You saw they were trying to put in an interim order. People who are clearly, bad intentioned and motivated by malice. Because if you say that
let's go ahead.
These are the same people who went in 2020, in Mzee Chibalama saying this in the sense that, it is an island in a sea of, when you're dealing with a failed democracy, and Museveni and his people have managed to capture all these other political parties. Now NUP is being looked at in that sense. So it receives attacks from every angle. Today it is the police raiding your offices, the following day it is JAT, the following day it is CMI abducting.
And again, back to my point. Isn't it funny that this has been normalized, that you can have an entire discussion for 1 hour or 2 or so, and the circumstances or the situation under which political parties, especially the NUP, operates is not mentioned anywhere?
People, the following, so we are used to so many threats. So the Kagombes are just a footnote in the wider scale of persecution that NUP has had to endure and continues to endure in this country.
Well, there's still controversy about your delegates conference. Who indeed are the delegates?
So under our constitution, that's why I said, first of all, these constitutions are available. You can write and ask for a copy from the Electoral Commission. We have copies. You can even come to our party and look at one.
But it's so funny, in these kind of situations where you're going to discuss the political party, I think it would be smart for the party president, sorry, the Act 1, Mundama uli okubeda ne constitution, ayogera asoma constitution, oba ne Secretary General okubeda ne constitution, okujja wenkana zine zitalina mulamwa.
Like I said, because the party initially, actually before it changed the name to NUP, was NURPD, the National Unity Reconciliation and Development Party. It was a small political party. Now, the total number of delegates around 144, if you were to constitute all the other organs. But right now, the ones who are in place are 127. That is the number of delegates that we have. And it is because it was a small party. There are political parties registered by EC which have 30 members as delegates. Are you aware of that? You find that a party is there, but its delegates conference increase the number with EC. You find that would be around 140.
I think he made this point already. Let's go here.
To ensure that every district is represented by the chairperson and the secretary for females.
So the issue of having fake delegates doesn't arise.
It does not arise because we have a constitution which you follow.
Mama Zokuba, Simon Aga, so the issue doesn't arise because it is an issue that has been created by you, nobody else.
It cannot arise. I mean, how does it arise? There is a constitution which has how every organ of the party is constituted. It tells you these are the members of NEC. It tells you
what you held was an extraordinary delegate.
The constitution says when the president deems necessary or when for example, now we are in an election season. Delegates Conference. And to handle long ago, we knew it existed. We knew it existed. But even in 2020, we held an extraordinary.
You're now into your second term. What is top on the agenda?
What is top on the agenda?
Now, listen, Mubuzant, what is on on top of your agenda or the agenda? Bwayanukula ekibuuzo kino, oyinza okugamba nti abaze okwanukula biri ebibuuzo. Kaggwa Njala addayo ku bibuuzo ebinyine ebibadde byanukuddwa.
Like I said the other day on my socials that it's a new term, new energy, but the same cause. So there is the newness in terms of the mandate and all that, but the cause remains the same. The cause is redeeming this country from the mess in which it finds itself. And that is why, you find it is very painful when we continue minimizing the conversations that should be happening in this country about the gross misrule in this country, the breakdown of the rule of law, the levels of corruption, all these evils that are going on. You just see the traffic in this city now because of the terrible roads that we have and all these things. So the cause remains the same. The cause is redeem this country from the mess in which it finds itself. And that is the core mission, core mandate of the National Unity Platform.
Does it surprise you that the key positions were never contested?
It does not surprise
the President, me. The Secretary General.
It does not surprise me because we have put...
I mean, I say you.
first of all, the spokesperson was not unopposed. Honorable Sewanyana came out to compete against Honorable Sanyuka, and they harmonized at the last minute. Their position was going to the vote, and then they came together and harmonized. And Honorable Sewanyana, and so
agambye nti ebifo kuba kyebagala framinga nti ebifo bineeno tebyaliko kuvuganya. Party president, secretary general, spokesperson. And he rightly points out, spokesperson wasn't unopposed. Alan Sewanyana came out to challenge Joel Senyonyi, only for these folks to harmonize, and this is very understandable. I mean, Baba Wakad, you can harmonize, or you can contest till the end. But Chinchaga Lukfako, I don't think so.
You saw the video of Honorable Sewanyana saying, because of these reasons, I am stepping down.
So Sewanyana pulled his name out.
Brother, who is serving well in that position. So, one, I'm not surprised that the key positions are not contested, because maybe the members of the party are seeing that their party is on a steady path.
You know, isn't that, I love that, because how about we think at it, we think about it in that way. Let's use that kind of a mindset. Maybe they're doing an amazing job. Maybe Bobi Wine has led the party in a very good way. Maybe David Louis Rubongoya has been a very good secretary general. Maybe many folks in the national platform believe, appreciate what they've done in the first term. Maybe. Why do we think that, they should be competed against?
To achieve its objectives. And I'll tell you that the positions which were advertised were 22, and majority of them were contested. Until, of course, members try to harmonize, because we also believe in that as one of our approaches.
There's this school of thought that NUP has a bit of tendencies of the NRM, where the presidency, the chairmanship of the party, the vice chairmanship is never contested.
The difference here is that we advertised in the papers and nobody came to express interest in the presidency of the party.
And actually, I wouldn't even say that we advertised, because Museveni can advertise as well. But the thing is, folks did not pick these forms to compete or to contest on these positions. You cannot accuse the party.
Nobody came out to say, I want to be the Secretary General of the party. But if they had done, we would have gone to the polls.
Exactly.
Or would have harmonized like other people did.
Exactly.
So, it is as if some of you are saying...
Does it surprise you that no one expressed interest?
That's what I've said. First of all, people had the liberty to do that. And they did not.
And this is why we, investigative journalism, or a very interesting piece, analytical piece, is done. If it really surprises you, then you'd have folks at the NBS investigate 3 offices of the national unity platform. How have they been able to execute in the last 4 years or so? Question: if these folks have not been contested against or competed against, then how about we question, what have they been able to do? How come they've been appreciated by their party members to the extent that they're not going to front any person to stand against them?
Are you telling me, Simon Kaggwa, that we should have gone, put a rope in someone's head, and said, you come and contest for the presidency of the party? The process was open. It was transparently done.
Exactly.
And so the point is, anybody could have said, you know what, I want the position of the president, I want to be the secretary general of the party, I want to be the spokesperson, I want to be the chairperson, the secretary for mobilization, etc., etc. So for us, we fulfilled our mandate.
You've heard from the likes of Honorable Norbert Mao, where he was poking holes in the processes of the party. How do you take in this kind of...
Do you want to take Norbert Mao seriously?
Mao afunye stray bullets.
What happened at the Delegates Conference and what they were doing? You want me to really take him seriously? The man who took his party and dragged it. Actually, not his party, but the party of people who sacrificed a lot and gave it over to NRM.
Isn't it funny? And I'm so glad he makes this argument. Because in what world does Norbert Mao think that he has the moral authority to even make a comment about any political party? I mean, but because in Uganda, like I always say, there's this very pervasive honor culture. Because someone is occupying a certain office, then they assume probably he has some money. They assume that, that is tantamount. That's equivalent to wisdom or knowledge. Absolutely not. Norbert Mao, a man who built his political career criticizing the regime of Mr. Museveni, accusing it of abducting, torturing, and killing of people, now occupies the office of the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. My bad. Nothing. There's nothing like justice in Uganda. The Constitution is abused on a daily basis. But he has the moral authority to use a microphone and accuse a political party like NUP of not having followed its constitution or of having ring-fenced. I mean, a man who went to Salim Saleh, had a conversation with him, and helped him, gave him money and goons, thugs to terrorize his own party members. A man who is holding captive of a political party that was built on truth and justice. Norbert Mao. You must be kidding me.
So that he could become a minister. You want me to really take him very serious?
I know, right?
He is a minister of justice.
Under whose regime? General Museveni's regime.
Exactly. It is like, someone, this is going to sound this is a little hyperbole, but I'm giving an example, okay? It's like you being a minister in Hitler's government. You are a Nazi. You are Minister of Justice. And I mean, there's never been no way Museveni can slap somebody in the face like what he did when he appointed Norbert Mao as Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. This was a slap in the face, appointing him to an office where Museveni knew that he would continue abusing the Constitution and disrespecting the rule of law, justice, in simple terms. And he appoints Norbert Mao to be his rubber stamp, a clown, for lack of a better word. That was a slap in the face. And Norbert Mao continues to move around because of thinking that probably now is some sort of a special person in Uganda. A man so deeply entrenched in this honor and money. Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Norbert Mao. They torture people, they abduct them, they kill them. He only comes out to make jokes around these things. I would resign if I were Norbert Mao, but he cannot do that. A man bankrolled by Kelebaka and Wanaho Salim Saleh, Museveni's brother. Man driven by money and career is the one who wants to deliberate on how other political parties should operate. Come on, Norbert Mao.
And Museveni told himself that he was going to appoint fishermen and those kinds of people. And that is
exactly, that's what I'm talking about. A slap in the face. Museveni, after saying that, I'm going to be appointing fishermen. And Norbert Mao actually said that once Museveni appoints you, he rides you like a wheelbarrow. These are his words. And now he serves in this government of this man who he knows that, he appoints fishermen, wheelbarrows. And he wants to come out and deliberate on how other political parties should operate. Come on.
Why our country is in the state in which it is. So do you want me to take those kinds of people seriously?
No.
So people who have failed to manage their houses and put them in order will always try to find reason to undermine, to minimize us. But exactly. Like I said, the members of the National Unity Platform know what we do and why we do it. And I'm sure they are happy with the progress. There are also mechanisms in our party. If, for example, a person was not happy with the way we did certain things, they have a right to petition. Certain organs of the party have not received any petition from any member of our party complaining about anything.
Well, ever since you opened up for expression of interest, I've seen an avalanche of aspirants going, picking forms and expressing interest in several positions. Do you see a challenge ahead in the screening process?
I see a challenge ahead, but leaders are meant for challenges.
Exactly.
We are first of all happy that thousands of people have expressed interest in running.
Well, with that said, I will. We won't go into the avalanche of people who went and picked and nominated whatever forms of expressing interest in running for positions. Naindozo take a bulungi. Mic drop from two people. Alex Waiswa Mufumbiro and David Louis Rubongoya. Katigwe. Mbulira chicholoza ku bino byonna. Did they do a good job? Were they convincing? Wanze mulisa nzayinza okubanga nchamuse. You tell me what you think. I think it was very amazing that they hosted them on the same day on different platforms within one media conglomerate, Next Media Services. That was really, 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 really good. They explained what we sitegedde, what webuuza, genda maaso wandike mu comment section. Liking a video eno, jigamba ne kone mikwano gyo bw'ogisanga mu mulamwa, bw'otagisanga mu mulamwa, suula mu kasasiro. N'ensuubira ejja kubeera ng'ekukolera. Nze Mordecai Murisa, Omugalatia, Omuteeketeeke, Ow'ekitiibwa, Emperor, President, Kabaka, bitibwa kibiraba. I always say that to joke. All right. Oluvannyuma okulaba ebyo Waiswa Mufumbiro bye yakoze ndowooza oba mbazanyire ku mboozi gye babigako bamukyazale muna NRM era ku NBS kye yamukola. Komawo waneno ssaawa 10 either wayinza okuba nga aliwo ekituuseewo n'otasanga story ne no si ssaawa 10 mwenda ez'eggandaala e Uganda ssaawa 9 ez'eggandaala e Uganda olwaleero komawo olabe n'emboozi. Nyinza oteekayo Waiswa Mufumbiro kye yakola gye buvuddeko. Maybe wabeerawo ekirala nja kuba kye nteekayo naye awo ensibidde. Otherwise kankuleka ate obeere bulungi. Right? Bye-bye.
Did you enjoy what you just watched?
I'm sure they did.
I'm going to guess that you did. How about you consider subscribing to Mordecai Marissa Live YouTube channel? Thank you.